everyone, welcome back to Move Wilder. My name is Hannah and today I'm going to take you through a 30-minute Pilates class especially designed for golfers. Tiger Woods, one of the greatest golfers of all time, used Pilates as part of his training and it's now a must-have for golfers of all levels. Golf is a fantastic game of precision and skill. It tends to favour one side of the body and this plays havoc with your muscle balance. Pilates is all about building muscle balance. So we're going to look at how to build muscle balance on each side of the body, but also the front and back of the joints. By building a strong core and a strong center, it's going to help you to improve the rotational force you can get through your golf swing. And we're going to look at some breathing techniques as well that are going to help you to bring yourself into that zone so that you're ready to take that swing and how you can breathe through your swing to improve your golf game. Let's get going. I'm now going to take you through standing alignment. So you're going to bring your feet together, heels come out and then toes come out to meet them. From here, we're just going to take a little rock backwards and forwards. So just feeling where the weight is in your foot and then slowly bringing yourself to a standstill where that weight is evenly balanced between your heel and your toe. Once you've come to here, we're going to think about moving the weight into the outside of the foot so that the knees track the toes, keeping them soft. Then just a gentle tuck and tilt to keep an eye on where you're placing that pelvis. And we're going to slowly make that movement slower until your tailbone is pointing down towards the floor, restacking those vertebrae, growing towards the ceiling. Next, we're going to make sure the arms are staying next to your side, so your shoulder blades are coming back and down. Just give those shoulders a little wiggle. And then next, we're going to go through the pelvic floor, core, and breathing. So as we inhale, we're going to feel that rib cage expand into the sides, back and front. The diaphragm moves down and so does the pelvic floor. As you exhale, you're thinking about pulling your ribs to hips and pulling in the pelvic floor. So we're thinking sit bone to sit bone, pubic bone to tailbone. Again, we're going to inhale, feel that rib cage expand, and then exhale, draw those ribs in, engage that pelvic floor, thinking sit bone to sit bone, pubic bone to tailbone. Again, inhale, release, and exhale, engage. Inhale, release, and exhale, engage. Couple more breaths here with me. There's quite a lot of information to take in with the breathing, core and pelvic floor and how it works together. So don't panic if you can't nail this today. This is something that we're going to work on as we move through the course. Just keep thinking, I need to be breathing as I'm exercising, and keep thinking about pulling in those pelvic floor and core muscles at the same time. So pelvic floor, sit bone to sit bone, pubic bone to tailbone. Core, we're thinking rib to hip, hip to hip, belly button to spine. And now we're ready for our workout. We're now going to go through a balance challenge with halo arms. So you're going to grab hold of a small weight, something like 1-2 kilos. If you haven't got a weight, you can always use a water bottle full of water, something just with a little bit of weight to it. Going to stand on one leg, and then we're going to do a circle around your head, almost like you're drawing a halo around your head. And what we're looking for here is to challenge that core and balance with a little bit of upper body movement. So if you think about when you're on the bike and you're having to stand up in a sprint or stand up to go up a hill, and you're kind of using that upper body to help drive the power through the legs. We're trying to work on that upper body strength, core and balance together. So looking at conditioning the whole body. Once you have done both legs, you can return your weight to the floor and we will move to our next move. Now I'm going to take you through a nice exercise for building strength in your lower back. So we're going to stand in the band, feet hip distance apart, arms are gently resting by your side shoulder blades, melting down your back. And we're just going to bend to start with from side to side. You could also do this with weights in your hand if you wanted to. Just pick a weight that you feel is an acceptable weight for the strength you've got in your lower back. So don't pick something that's really heavy to start with, because we're doing quite a few reps of this. So pick something that you feel is a manageable weight if you're using a weight instead. Then what we're going to do is start to lift and lower the elbow, as you'll see in the video. So we're bringing in some arm work here as well, still staying on that side plane of movement, so bending from side to side. Lower back strength is really important for maintaining good posture and having a good position on the bike. So if you do get lower back pain, it might be that your lower back is weak, and we need to work on strengthening not only the core but also the lower back, and this is a good way of doing that. Once you've finished, coming into your rest pose. This is one of my favourite exercises for your shoulders. So we're going to do drawing the sword. So we're going to stand on the band with the right foot, hold it in the left hand, bring your left hand to your right hip, and then we're going to extend the arm out across the body, slowly releasing back, keeping that tension in the band throughout the move for as long as you can. Obviously it will release when your hand is at the hip, and I'm going to pull the arm straight out, making sure you're not locking out the elbow joint, so you're keeping a soft elbow but a nice extended arm, feeling that work in the shoulder, using your core to help with the balance. So we're thinking rib to hip, belly button to spine. Then we're going to swap to the other side, so left foot under the band, band to your right hip, and then extend out to the right hand side. Standing tall, stretching that arm up and away, using your core to help with that stability. Making sure you're not locking out the elbow as you lift. And this is a great exercise for building strength around the shoulder. Once you finish, coming back into your rest pose. Now I'm going to take you through a really nice exercise for reducing stress in the upper back and improving the mobility of those muscles. So we're coming down onto our backs, feet are flat on the floor, going to bring your arms, so there's a gentle bend in your elbow, and then you're going to gently bring your arms up off the floor, moving the bottom half of your arm so that your palm comes so it's facing up. Now you might not get it all the way to the floor, just take it to where you feel it's comfortable. Hopefully you're feeling a nice release and stretch in your upper back, holding it there for your inhale, and then exhale, engage your core and pelvic floor. So think rib to hip, hip bones together, pull that pelvic floor up, and gently move the arms back. This is a really good opportunity as well to just work on that breathing and movement connection. So as your arms are moving, we're thinking exhale, we're engaging our core and pelvic floor. We're inhale, holding and releasing, and then exhale, moving and contracting. Nice gentle movement. I want you to imagine you're moving your arms through water. So there's a little bit of resistance behind that hand movement. So you're not doing it really fast. I want you to keep it nice and slow. Imagine there's water and you're just pushing the water backwards and forwards. If you want to make this a little bit harder, you can bring both legs up into our tabletop position. Just make sure that you're focusing on that upper body and not the lower body. And when you're finished, taking a full body stretch and coming back up to sitting. I'm now going to take you through the rotator cuff strengthening exercise. So we're going to bring the band up in front of you. Top of your arm is staying close to your body, palms are up, and we're going to pull the band out to the side. Hold it there briefly and then just gently release back. We're going to do 5 like this, where we're just keeping that movement continuous. Pulling the band out. If you need to make it harder, less band in the middle. If you need to make it easier, put more band in the middle. This time we're going to hold it out there and do 5 little pulses. So we're just pulsing to the side for 5, and now we're going to 4 without pulses. This is really good for building strength in those upper back muscles. And then we're going to do 4 little pulses, and then 3 without pulses. Keeping those arms close to your body, 3 little pulses this time. And 2 without pulses. We are nearly there. Probably feeling this by now. If you need to make it easier, more band in the middle, 2 little pulses. And final 1, and final pulse. And then give those shoulders a roll. Excellent, well done. Returning to rest pose. I'm now going to take you through swimming on your front. So we're going to lay down on your front, bring your arms stretched out in front of you, and then we're going to lift the opposite arm and leg. As we do so, we're going to engage our core. So we're thinking about pulling our hip bones together, our ribs down towards our hips, and we're gently going to move from side to side, really stretching out through that arm and leg as you go. This is really good for building strength in the muscles in the backside of your body. Making sure you're not pushing your belly down into the mat. What we're going to do now is take a couple seconds rest, and then we're going to go into a flow set. So we're going to bring the opposite arm and leg up, and then we're just going to flow from side to side. So as before, we were stopping and pausing as that arm and leg lifted. Now we're just flowing from side to side. As you'll see in the video, it's not necessarily that it's faster, we're just moving from side to side, keeping that core engaged. So we're thinking about drawing those ribs down towards your hips. And then once you're finished, we're going to come back into our child's pose. We're going to hold this for your own count of 15 seconds. And then coming back into our rest position. I'm now going to take you through scorpion stretch. So we're going to lay on our front. You're going to bring both arms out so they're stretched out from your sides. So you're going to bend your right leg and then take your right leg over to the left-hand side of your body. We're going to hold this for 20 to 30 seconds. This is a great stretch for the muscles in your chest, so you should be getting a good stretch on the left-hand side of your chest right now. You might also get a stretch around the hip, and that is totally fine. Once you've held this for your 20 to 30 seconds, you're going to roll back to the middle and then roll to the other side. So bending the left knee and lifting the left leg up and over to the right-hand side. Now feeling the stretch on the right-hand side. Holding it there for your 20 to 30 seconds, and then you can come back to your rest pose. We're now going to go through shoulder bridge, which is one of my favourite exercises. So we're going to come to laying down on the mat. Feet are hip distance apart, pelvis is in neutral, and arms are just gently resting on the floor. Turning your palm up if you feel like you're going to push your hands down into the mat. We're then going to take a gentle inhale, and then on your exhale, you're going to slowly roll up by each vertebrae at a time until you're at the top of your bridge. At the top of your bridge, you should feel the weight in your shoulders and your feet, not in your neck. We're going to hold it there for an inhale, and then slowly, vertebrae by vertebrae, we're going to pop those vertebrae back down onto the floor until your pelvis rolls into its neutral position, where that little gap is behind the lower back, but you're not arching your back. Holding at the top for an inhale, and then exhale slowly back down. Shoulder bridge is a great move for building mobility of the spine, so it's going to gently move the spine and mobilize those facet joints. Keep pushing down into your toes as you roll up and down. This is going to help to engage those hamstrings, get them involved, get those muscles working. You should also feel this in your glutes as well. And once you're finished, we're going to hug the knees into your chest, give yourself a little back rock for your own count of 10 to 15 seconds, and then come back to sitting. This next move is noughts and crosses. We're going to come down onto our side, hip and shoulder in a line. And then you can bend your bottom arm and bring it under your head to support the neck, making sure your head is in line with the rest of your spine. Top hand on the floor for some support and bend the bottom leg if you need to. And then we're just starting with a circle. You can make your circle as big as you like, as long as you're not rocking your hips from side to side or pushing your side down into the mat, making that gap between your rib cage and your hips smaller. Once we've done circles in each direction, we're going to bring the leg down to the front, back to hip height, up to the back to hip height, up to the front, back to hip height, down to the back to hip height. Maintaining a nice strong core throughout this movement, so thinking rib to hip, especially as you take the leg backwards, because it's when that leg goes back behind you, you're going to feel like you're being pulled backwards. As you take the leg forward, making sure you're not rolling the pelvis forward as well. Only making your cross as big as you can keep your core engaged and working hard to keep your trunk nice and still. Once you've done one side, rolling over onto the other side. So hip and shoulder in a line, top leg raises, and we're starting with that circle. Keeping your circle under control, nice steady speed to our circles, trying not to let your pelvis roll around. Chin stays lifted, make sure you're not looking down at the ground. Once you've done your circles in both directions, we will move on to our crosses. And for that cross, we're going to bring the leg down to the front, back to hip height, up to the back to hip height, up to the front, down to the back. Try not to swing the leg. Try and really control the movement, but keep it nice and fluid so the leg continues to move. You should really feel this in the outside of the leg. This is a great one for building strength around the hip. And once you've finished, coming back to your rest pose. This is one of my favourite rotational mobility exercises for your spine. We're going to do book. So we're going to come down onto the mat, making sure your hip and shoulder are in a line and that your head stays in line with the rest of your spine. So you're going to need a cushion under that head. Arms come out parallel. And we're going to stretch that top arm forward and then reach it up so your hand is in line with your shoulder. And then the rotation is coming through your mid-spine. So think about your rib cage moving, gently bringing that arm back behind you, making sure your hips stay stacked one on top of the other. We're going to hold that at the back for an inhale. And then exhale, gently bring that arm up so your hand is in line with the sky. And then gently bring that arm back to the front, fighting gravity as you bring that arm back. Every time you rotate back, you can either leave your head facing forward or you can take your hand with you. It's entirely up to you. As you come back, remember you're rotating through that mid-spine until your hand is in line with your shoulder, and then you're gently closing that arm down. You should get a nice stretch across the chest as you bring that arm back behind you. And then once we've finished our set, we're going to roll over onto the other side, making sure your hip and shoulder are in line. And again, stretching that arm forward, reaching up to the sky, and then letting that spine rotate backwards. So you coming from your rib cage, nice opening chest stretch, keeping your hips stacked one on top of the other. And then again, using your spinal mobility to bring that arm back to facing the ceiling, and then slow controlled movement of the hand back to our starting location. Making sure your shoulders remain relaxed, so don't bring your shoulder up towards your ear as you rotate back. Keeping your knees glued together. So the rotation comes through that mid-spine, and we're going to exhale, engage your core and rotate back, making sure that you're using those core muscles to stabilize the movement. And once you've finished your set, coming up into your rest pose. Our next exercise is going to challenge your core, your legs, and your coordination. So we're going to bring the band and tie the band in a bow just above the knees. You need to have a little bit of slack in the band, so maybe move your feet to hip distance and then tie the band. You need to be able to move the band. Then we're going to come down onto the mat. You can use a weight, so a dumbbell somewhere around 2 kilos, or you can use the Pilates ball if you prefer. Going to lie with the arms stretched out from your sides, and then we're going to stretch the legs out in the band, and we're going to bring the arms into the middle. So as the arms come in, the legs go out, pushing out into the band. So we're building strength in the side of the leg here. If you find you need to either make it a bit easier, you can let some band out so you've got more room to push out into the band, or if it's too easy, you can tie the band a little bit tighter. This is a great exercise for challenging your coordination and also your core. We're also moving the legs and arms as well, so it's a full body, lots of joints involved exercise, which is the greatest way of challenging your core and building strength in those core muscles, which are the key stabilizing muscles for all the movements you do in your daily life. Once you're finished, we're going to take a full body stretch and then you can come back up to sitting. Today we're going to start with a hand behind the back stretch. So you're going to bring one hand behind your back. You're going to take your ear over towards the opposite shoulder, tuck your chin forward and then gently pull your head forward for 30 seconds. Should feel a nice stretch in your upper back. Once you've done one side, we're going to swap to the other side. So taking your hand behind your back, tucking your chin, taking your ear to the opposite shoulder, and then gently pulling that head forward, again holding for up to 30 seconds. And then returning to your rest pose. I'm now going to take you through the QL stretch. You're going to sit with your feet just further than hip distance apart. Take your right hand under the inside of your right leg. Rotate your body away to the left and bring your left arm up and over your ear and point it towards your toes. We're going to hold this position for 30 seconds. You should maintain a seated position with your sit bones stuck to the floor throughout your hold, and you should feel this stretch in your low back. Once you've done 30 seconds, you're going to come back to the neutral. Left hand goes under your left knee, and then you're going to rotate your body to the right and bring your right hand over towards your left toes, keeping your elbow over the top of your ear, so you're getting that nice stretch through the back of your back. Again, we're going to hold this for 30 seconds. Once you've done your 30 seconds, coming back up to a seated position.